Hey everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am coming in today with my final 5 fast cards featuring the October Glory of Autumn subscription kit from White Rose Crafts. If you've missed the first 2 parts, the 5 fast cards and 5 more fast cards, I will put links into them so you can go peek at them and see what's going on. These are the basically cards 11 through 15 that I've made using the subscription kit for October. So yes, there's plenty and lots and wonderful things you can make with the kit. I'm using this really, really crazy wild paper from the kit and one of the doilies, and just simply adding some embellishment. No sentiment, no flair. Well, there's plenty of flair. I'm adding sequins and buttons. For the buttons, I am trimming off the buttonholes with my scissors and then just adding mounting pads, or three-dimensional tape basically, to help pop them up so that they're not uneven. So it makes sense that they are raised from the card. Takes a moment. There we go. I'm done. But this paper, I really liked the paper, but it was so busy. Like, the paper is very, very busy, that trying to find a focal point to it seemed difficult. So instead, I didn't have a focal point. I just bypassed it completely and went straight to just embellishing the snot out of it. And then I pulled out the limited edition sequin blends. Actually, that is a completely exclusive to the October kit. So there are some other really gorgeous fall-themed Doodles Paper Playground Sparkle Blend, but this one is specifically exclusive to this kit. And then, just using nothing but some glossy accents, I added the sequins. And that's it. I kind of wanted it to look like maybe a wind had blown all this autumn goodness across the card. And kind of like when you're watching the wind blow actual leaves in the world, you can't necessarily see all the leaves, but you know they're all there. That was the look I was kind of going for with this card. And like I said, I left all sentiments off of it. I just wanted this kind of busy card. My second card uses what might be, it's not my favorite paper. If you've seen one of my previous 5 fast cards for this kit, it's the Fox paper's hands down my favorite. But this sweater knit is very different than anything else that's in the kit. It still has a very autumn feel to it, but it's not, the colors, to me, again, just don't scream blatant autumn, and yet at the same time it does because it's a sweater. I got this far in the card, didn't quite know what to do with it, and then was like, oh wait, let's just add a simple sticker from the kit, and take some of the brad leaves, and I picked 3 different of the colors. I think there's 4 or 5 different color leaf brads, and I just pulled 3 of them out, and adhered them quietly and, happily to the card. I pull the brads off because I don't want to fight the brads, and they just come off so easily that they can be a glue embellishment just fine. And I left that card there, and I love the way it turned out. It feels organically right to me. It just feels like the way it's supposed to be. My third card, I had been thinking about this card for some time, like how the design of it, and it might be the favorite from all 15 cards I've made. Just because it's the most fun. It's the most technical, probably, of everything I've done that isn't the shaker card. But I pulled out these letters, and I'm not the biggest fan of sticker letters. And in my first series, I had a card in which I laid down a whole bunch of stickers and just left them in the background. Well, this time I decided to lay some Distress ink onto my cardstock. And this is just my Nina cardstock, my normal everyday cardstock that I use. So it doesn't have any, like, it absorbs straight into the paper. So it's going to be blotchy, for lack of a better word. This isn't one of those papers that the ink just smooths right over the surface. But I wanted to intentionally have this blotchy inked look over the letters. Because, again, like a big pile of fall leaves, you have this big blotch of color all over the place. I used 4 different colors. I used Rusty Hinge, Carved Pumpkin, I can do this, Candied Apple, and Fossilized Amber, which I think make a really nice fall palette. And you can see how blotchy it is right there. But wait for it, because now I'm going to pull the letters back off. And in pulling the letters back off, that blotchy feeling that the ink had left is gone, because now I have the stark white in addition to the colors. Like I said, this card makes me happy. There's something about it that's just fun. I sprayed it down with a little water, let the distress ink do its magical thing, blotted it up. And because, again, I was just using basic cardstock, where the water really saturated, there is a texture to it now. I added a sticker and then decided to trim off a little bit from each side of the card before adhering it down to my card frame so that there was a nice white border around it. I almost left the card here like this, but then I realized it needed a little something more. So pulling out my Nuvo drops that come in the kit, I added a couple dollops, and then realized I had one giant leaf left from the Sparkle Blends pack. So I pulled it out and adhered it to the card because, yeah, my glossy accents is running out. You're going to always have to bear with me as I remind it to run down to the tip. Like I said, might be my favorite card of the whole series that I've done for this subscription kit. It just seems fun and bold and bright and exactly what the sentiment says, autumn in the air. My fourth card for this series, I'm using the stamps that come in the kit, and I'm using 3 of the leaf stamps, and I'm layering the pigment ink that comes in, the Scrapberry pigment ink. I decided to layer it, so I went with an orange, then a brown, and then an orange again. And then distress the side of my little pre-cut. Yes, I pre-cut all the white paper, because the truth is, my paper cutter is awful. I'm getting a new paper cutter. It's literally winging its way to me. My current paper cutter leaves little frayed dollopy edges that are awful, and I have to take sandpaper to the paper and sand off my dollopy frayed edges. And so I just to save everybody the headache of watching me sand paper, I pre-cut everything, because yeah, it's that kind of awful right now. I didn't want to buy, once again, I think the current paper cutter I'm on is like my 3rd paper cutter that just hasn't measured up. So this time I actually did research and asked people and talked to people and chatted with people and waited forever to order a paper cutter that I'm really, really hoping works. But I took 3 nice pieces of white paper, and if you're wondering what I'm doing, I laid something heavy on top of them so I wouldn't blow them away. Because it is a pigment ink, it needs to either have time to dry, which nobody's got time for that, or you need to heat set it with your heating tool. So I just heat set it. And then the pigment ink lays exactly where you want it to lay. I had, yes, pre-cut. See, if you look at that piece of paper, you can see my nasty, unneat edge. I pre-cut 3 scraps of paper that I had left over from the kit. When you get down to the final 5 cards that you make in the series, there's been 10 cards made previously, plus the blog hop that is going on currently. It's October 2nd when this is getting published. The blog hop goes to Friday the 6th. Yeah, that's a big question mark at the end of that. But go check out the White Rose Craft blog, because there's a blog hop going on with an opportunity to win some gift cards. Go check it out if you're seeing this in the time frame in which it's actually happening. And I will link to the blog hop, so if you're catching this in a timely manner, you can go. But these are the paper underneath the leaves is scraps left over, because I had, at this point, pretty much worked my way through all of the paper. But I save all my scraps because there's always an opportunity to reuse scraps, especially when you have coordinating paper as pretty as this. I needed a sentiment. I didn't feel like stamping Happy Fall again, so I pulled out the sentiment stickers from Jelly Bean Soup and realized I still had the Orange Love, which coordinated perfectly with the card, added it to the card, and called that one done. In hindsight, I kind of wish I'd gone back and added a few sequins, and I might still do that in the real world, but there's the 4th card. My final card uses the decoupage die cut set. Nobody wants to watch me assemble it. I assembled it in the first 5 cards that I made. I assembled one similar to it. If you need to see how to assemble it, jump back over there and watch. Otherwise, you're just watching me fight three-dimensional tape backs, and really none of us have time for that. So I assembled it, I turned it into a tag, I added a little raffia, and I adhered it to the 12 by 12 paper that is in the kit that I cut down to get the most use out of. And that's it. That's the big flair of this one, because that decoupage die cut set is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see with the angle I'm at, but it is just stunning, that foil in there. Thank you so much for peeking in, especially if you made it through all 315 cards. The October kit is going fast. If you haven't ordered yours yet, you might need to quickly, or you're going to miss out on all this autumn goodness. Want to see more like this? Click the dragon and I'll subscribe you. Otherwise, thanks for peeking in today. Bye!